Well, folks, sorry for the beginning. Unfortunately, I'm going to probably have to switch back to something I was using before because it's causing too many audio different delays and lags and screen sharing and all the good fun stuff. So I do apologize for unfortunately signing back off and now having to sign back on. So anyways, welcome. It is Saturday night, the night before the big game. Less than 24 hours at this point, about 22 hours and some change before the big game starts, of course. And it should be exciting. Kansas City arriving this evening at about 4:10 Eastern time, of course, here on the western side of the Gulf. But Kansas City is here, staying at the Hilton downtown in Tampa, and it is completely encased around, of course, the local sheriff's department and making sure that no one gets in or out of the building while they're prepping for tomorrow's game. So tonight, of course, for Kansas City Chiefs, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are having their dinner night, which they normally have, of course, before the big game, and then they'll have their breakfast tomorrow, get everybody motivated and off and running for the 6:30 Super Bowl Sunday night start. As far as for the week for the NFL experience, just before I get the show here underway, it was absolutely fantastic. If you've never been in a host city, and I've never experienced it for the first time was absolutely great. So I enjoyed every single moment of the week. I had a lot of fun also talking to Jabari Thomas from 10 Tampa Bay from Brightside in the morning. He's on from 4:30 to 7 in the morning. Jabari, Caitlin, Grant, and Courtney will be on tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you live here locally in Tampa, check out 10 Tampa Bay. And you guys will see him like I did. Good show in the morning, great newscast, and it was a lot of fun to talk to him. So with all that being said, I'm Angel, and this is Broad Street South Sports Talk. Now, again, welcome everybody. Of course, this is the Super Bowl evening show, and it's rare that I come on a Saturday night, of course, and especially by myself here, but it's rare that I come on a Saturday night. But again, I wanted to show everyone just, again, the experience that I had. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fans, I will say, for the first time since being down here, I will state that it's been as many Buck fans as I've ever seen before. And it was good to see all the fans out there, and not just Buck fans. Obviously, you had Raider fans, a couple of them that I did see, Giants fans, Eagles fans, Dallas fans. So it was nice to see that everyone still was able to go down to the NFL experience down at Curtis Hicks's Park, Julian B. Lane, and of course the Tech Village where everybody was around. So it was a lot of fun for sure. Rick also, as he's commenting here, he says, loving this weather, Rick. So am I, because it did get cold. I will say that much. It was cold here earlier in Florida, believe it or not, and that cold weather is coming from up north made it all the way down here, down south. And Rick, thank you for the video earlier. Rick was at the airport when the Kansas City Chiefs came in, and running back was the flag that they used to fly out the window here when they touched down in Tampa Bay. So, again, big game tomorrow, KC, Tampa Bay, and one of my coworkers has stated that it seemed like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary would end up having an issue coming up tomorrow. I don't believe that being the case. Tampa Bay secondary has gotten better as the weeks have gone by. I'm quite sure all those guys on the team, and of course the female coaches that are on there as well, are going to be pumped up and ready for tomorrow's game. But a secondary, you got to figure they're on a 7-game win streak at this point, and it doesn't seem like Tampa Bay is going to be letting off the gas. Now, I did try to reach out to someone, at least to come on to represent part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad. Unfortunately, because everyone being so busy the week that it is, the person could not make it out. So I guess I will be the local representative, along with maybe Rick and a couple other folks here, being on board and talking about as far as the Bucs. But again, we're looking at Tom Brady, and if there's any New England fans, by all means, if you're watching the show, chime on in. Also, if you're watching from Instagram, it's the first night tonight that we're actually on Instagram Live as well. So I do thank you for that as well. And if Tone and Ryan Dills says, don't listen to Mark. And I believe I try not to listen to him, but Dills, thanks for tuning in. But yeah, I try not to listen to Mark too much. When it comes to, and again, thanks to everybody, sorry, on Instagram, if you're watching for the very first time, as I've been trying to connect that over there, and hopefully it's working. I tried a test run earlier. It sounded kind of goofy. So if anyone happened to be on Instagram and they can hear me talking in the background with no picture movement, it's because I was trying to test out the new software over on Instagram. But again, we're looking at Tom Brady now. Of course, 20 years with the New England Patriots, 6 rings with the New England Patriots. Now, Was there some cheating involved? Some may say yes. We've seen it when they got busted with, of course, taping the Atlanta Falcons. That was the last time New England was able to tape anything as far as any practices. And of course, being a COVID year, no one was able to do what they normally do. So New England had no shot and able to do the things that they did. Of course, a lot of players also did not play this year for New England. And the big thing is with New England, obviously not having a chance. And David, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And I'll get to every comment as much as I possibly can throughout the show. So if I'm talking, of course, I'm going to try and get to your comments as well. And by the way, to kind of revert back to Thursday as well, Thursday, the show was supposed to be 15 minutes of times yours. Unfortunately, because again, the initial happening that happened at the beginning of the show, didn't work out too well. And so therefore, we had to run 20 minutes later than scheduled. And we didn't get around to the 15 minutes of times yours, but we'll see if we can't fit it in this week. Along with any guests, if we have a guest on coming up this week. Of course, we'll be back on Thursday live at 7:30 this week. But as far as New England had key players also that did not play because of COVID-related issues. Just like the Eagles had a couple guys, all the NFL teams had players who sat down. So this year being a complete different year than what next year will be. Next year, hopefully, we'll go back to some sort of normalcy. But as the NFL did state, they will keep certain things as they've done with the COVID situation this year in place for next season. And rightfully so, because if it's been working, if the players are comfortable with it, the coaches are comfortable with it, then let the NFL take control of that as long as we can have a normal season. Barring all that, not too many cases as far as COVID related. Most teams did pretty well. All the rescheduling turned out to be pretty good. And of course, at the end, we see the two teams that both belong there, KC and Tampa. And both of those teams had minimal risk when it came down to COVID issues. And of course, because down here in Florida, just like everywhere else, they tell you wash your hands, stay 6 feet apart, and make sure you stay socially distant as far as from everyone else. So again, it ended up playing out big for both teams. Of course, you have Patrick Mahomes who's still dealing with the turf toe, but when you're at the big game, you tend to forget about the minor injuries that are going on. Mike Evans is feeling well. Antonio Brown did practice this week. I didn't hear the latest update as far as when it came on to Antonio Brown, but what it sounds like that he will play come tomorrow. So again, less than 24 hours away from the big game happening. It's going to be a lot of fun as far as what I can tell. The other thing, what Rick was saying, I was about to get here momentarily, saw Andy Reid deplane and wondered what his mental state was concerning his son, Britt. Listen, I feel bad for Andy because as we talked about it on Thursday with Phil Andrews, the one bad thing you feel bad about is that he lost his one son, of course, when the Eagles were getting ready to make their last practice at their former practice facility. Andy Reid's son, unfortunately, had overdosed, and he ended up passing. It took Andy a while to get over that, and Britt, unfortunately, was also dealing with his own demons at the time, but it seemed like he finally had turned around and, stopped with the drinking and the drugs and everything else, as far as we know. And whether he's doing that, we don't know. Of course, all that stuff is alleged. According to the accident report, right now, allegedly, there might have been some sort of alcohol involved. But unfortunately, there are two kids that are badly hurt, especially a 5-year-old that's clinging on to her life. So our thoughts and prayers go out to their families when it came to the accident, and even to Britt, because Britt right now, I'm pretty sure is feeling like if you can go back and make those changes or go back and think about the things that you did that unfortunately will impact someone else's life according to yours, I'm quite sure you can take it back. So I do feel bad for Andy Reid. And even though we are all human, we all make mistakes, things do happen. Unfortunately for Andy Reid, there's no way in the world you're going to tell me that that's not burning in the back of his mind as he takes that football field tomorrow. And even tonight with the dinner with all the players and the coaches, in some way or fashion, it's going to affect them tomorrow throughout that game. So I don't believe, even if Britt didn't do what he did, ironically, as we talked about it on Thursday night, I don't feel that Kansas City has what it takes to repeat as back-to-back champions. And I could be wrong, so if any KC fans are out there, of course, chime in, let me know exactly the way you guys feel. I just feel that Tampa Bay has the momentum going. And even to relate back to the Eagles, when, of course, the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl, it's almost that same type of feel around here. And I could be wrong. Jake says by Wentz, and yeah, it seems like Wentz will be traded out of town. The Colts keep saying, as we're kind of flipping around here on the subject here, the Colts keep saying for now Carson Wentz is not a quarterback over there in Indianapolis. Now, reading from, it seems like Adam Schefter, it looks like the destination was to go to Indianapolis. I do believe Indianapolis is probably going to be the only one that can absorb that contract and maybe give up a first-round pick, possibly another maybe fifth or sixth pick, not two number one picks, but maybe a later on, but in the first round, and maybe some other compensatory picks. So we'll see. That's going to be interesting as it continues to play to keep playing. As far as, there was first it started with 9 teams, then it turned into 19 teams. Now it turned down to 11 teams. But I do believe that the Indianapolis Colts will be the front runners when it comes to Carson Wentz. And then sometimes it's needed. Carson may need a new start. He may be somewhere comfortable, especially with Frank Reich, what he's dealt with before. So there's a good possibility to maybe a change of scenery, as has been talked about all week long for the most part. And we hear throughout the NFL Network and everywhere else that maybe that change of scenery will help out Carson Wentz. So it was great to see him here as an Eagle. Could Nick Sirianni had changed things for him and made it better for him? None of us know because it's unknown questions. Could Carson still be here? Could Carson at one point, as I asked Phil Andrews on Thursday, why hasn't Carson come out and said the reasons why? Either he wants to be here or he doesn't. But Phil made a great point. He doesn't have to say anything, which is true. He doesn't have to say anything. But it would just be nice to hear something from Carson Wentz to state the reason why he prefers to be here or prefers to just get out of town and do what he needs to do elsewhere. So that's going to be loaded up, of course. We've seen many coaches now being let go by the Eagles, new coaches coming in. We haven't had time to digest all the new coaches coming in. So we'll be getting into the coaching situation a little bit later on as the offseason comes about, because the offseason will start tomorrow as soon as the Super Bowl is over. And we will be talking more, of course, NFL talk in the weeks to come leading up to the draft. And, of course, MLB is about to start their season off. I do believe the Phillies are due to report by the 17th down here in Clearwater, so that you're only talking about a week and a half away, along with the Rays and the Tigers and everyone else who plays on the eastern side here in Florida. So there's still a lot of stuff that's going on. Sixers are doing well. Flyers, of course, have won their 7 out of 10. Tough time with the Bruins. But right now, the Philly teams are finally starting to get back to that stride that were before. Let's hope that the Eagles can do the same thing come start the 2021 season. So we'll see. There's a lot of things still to talk about when it comes to the Eagles. But right now, as far as when it comes to Tom Brady, again, 6 rings in 20 years with New England. He's appearing in his 10th Super Bowl. It's amazing for one individual to do that. And even when he came to Tampa, the one big thing that he convinced Bruce Arians was that he can do it. And it seems like he backed up his talk because obviously he's got him to the big game. Now, they've been talking to him all week long. Tom feels great. He says he's been mentally prepared. His family was away from his house, which gave him more time to even prepare and to get him focused. And to me, it's one of those things that I think that Tom is ready to win number 7. Now, he would be the only one to, of course, win more championships as an individual than teams combined. Of course, the Steelers have 6 rings. And speaking of the Steelers, one bet that I did make, and I'm not a betting person, but the one bet that I did make was with my coworker, Matt, and I said that the Bucs will win the Super Bowl. Now, if you guys happen to see me on the next podcast wearing Pittsburgh gear, well, if I end up losing, I have to wear a Pittsburgh hat, according to Matt, and wear the terrible towel somewhere on my shoulder. So in case you guys see me in Pittsburgh gear, no, I'm not becoming a Steelers fan. It's because we made a prop bet, and we'll see. But hopefully the Bucs will come through to me, or through for me and everyone else. Therefore, I won't have to wear anything Pittsburgh related. But again, Tom Brady has been doing some amazing things this season. And even if he's doing it with a brand new team, you got to give it to him that if he does win, because the way I see it was he had no opportunities to cheat whatsoever. And I know New England fans are going to be upset about that, but it is what it is, and it's the absolute truth. You know, you can talk about it with things that have happened here in the past year, but again, Tom will do it with a brand new team. And if he wins number 7, again, he would have more than teams combined. And that's a huge accolade for one individual to actually do. So Gronk would have his 4th one, of course, with, his former teammate with New England came down here to Tampa. So there's a lot of interesting things that can happen for Tampa. Tampa right now during the practice week look really strong. They look good, of course. They're not showing the whole entire practice, but listening to the interviews on the radio, how the guys are feeling, how Bruce Arians is feeling, everything right now is going Tampa's momentum way. Now, Kansas City, of course, you can listen to them. You can still hear, the confidence in Andy Reid. You can hear with Pat Mahomes. You can hear with Travis Kelce. So by all means, I'm not saying it's going to be a landslide. I do believe it is going to be a high-scoring game for sure between both of these. And for Kansas City, as well as Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay knows in order to beat KC, you have to have at least 30 plus points to beat KC. Now, could both teams come out exploding? Could both teams come out flat? Who knows? It'll be determined tomorrow. There's a lot of key factors that can come into place. But I do believe that they both will have a strong outing. I see another comment here by David where he says, Brady's amazing, but I think Chiefs will take care of it. It amazes me he is playing so well and playing at his age. And you're right, David. It is amazing. Listen, at 43 years old, a lot of us hope that we can still do what we were doing at 43. Me, I'm 21, add a bunch of other years. But as far as for being 43 years old and being in condition that you are and playing in the NFL, I mean, Vinny Testaverde, I think, was probably, other than Drew Brees, are one of the only guys that have been in their 40s and still playing. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is in his 30s, of course, approaching his 40s, but he hopes as well to continue playing until he gets into his 40s. And Tom Brady said he will play at least until he's 45 years old. And then also this week, he also stated that he will play until his body tells him that's it. We need to walk away from the game. Now, what I will say about Tom Brady is that obviously when he leaves the game will pursue him because he knows he has an opportunity with New England to do whatever he chooses to do in New England. He's going to have the same way in Tampa. Even if they lose the Super Bowl, I believe Tampa will try and keep him on here because of how he's adapted to all the players in the organization. So, and he's going to have TV contracts, you name it. Tom will do whatever Tom wants to do. So again, at 43 years old, David, I agree. It's amazing how well he continues to play. That arm has not gone soft like they showed in the T-Mobile commercial, which I thought was hilarious with Gronkowski. So I'll use that kind of a pun intended. But the funny thing is that Tom Brady's arm has not given up. And you're bringing in Patrick Mahomes, obviously the young kid out of nowhere, who of course won the Super Bowl last year. They're defending Super Bowl champions. And Patrick Mahomes himself has an outstanding arm. So it could be, deep threats tomorrow. Mike Evans, again, he's healthy. Antonio Brown's healthy. There's weapons on both sides. The key to the game, like everything else, is always the defense. How much cushion room do you have? Do your safeties give that 5-yard wideout space between there? Is there going to be flagrant fouls? I mean, as in personal fouls. We've seen it this year that someone will put up their hand just out of nowhere, knock them back a little bit, and here comes a flag thrown out there for a personal foul. So tomorrow will probably be the most watched penalties ever. And speaking of, tomorrow will be the first time. And applauds to, of course, the ladies out there who continue to excel and do well in whatever they choose to do. And we will have the first time a female being the chief as far as leading the game itself. So congratulations to her. And, of course, to the two female coaches that, again, they're on the Tampa Bay squad here. So it's going to be a matchup beyond matchup come tomorrow. I hope it's a high-scoring game. I also hope it's a close game. Blowouts, no one likes. I mean, let's just face it. And when you're doing any kind of blowout, it's bad for ratings. It's bad for players. It's bad for the fans. But I believe this game will be a passing attack. And who knows? Kansas City, of course, has a good running game. So does Tampa. They're almost even keel when it comes at that matter. So there's going to be so many factors going into tomorrow. And tomorrow you'll hear from everyone because, of course, it will be all day, nothing but football. So you'll hear the key factors from the NFL Network, from ESPN, from your local reps, again, from 10 Tampa Bay here and locally in Tampa. I will play the interview here shortly. Hopefully it will come out because, of course, I try to do the screen share with audio, and a lot of times it doesn't work. So I may have to load it up another way in order for you guys to hear it. But it was, like I said, a great week this week. I appreciated a lot of people that I ended up running into. Had a lot of fun for sure. So I will do at the moment is actually bring up the NFL experience of how Tampa Bay have recorded it with their fans. I will tell you, of course, obviously with being the NFL experience, how the NFL ended up recording it. But between, again, all three parks, you had to have a ticket to get in, or you couldn't be on standby. Of course, there was a lot of people down there today that had they were talking about how great their experience was. Of course, they had a lot of fun, just like I did with, getting a chance to see the Vince Lombardi again trophy for the second time. One thing that I missed the opportunity, of course, being back home was having I guess the thrill, like everyone else back home, to be able to do the Vince Lombardi trophy picture with the Eagles. So that I end up missing. And I wish I was back home so I was able to do it again. But unfortunately, I'm not home. I end up missing out. So it's just one of those things the way it ends up working out. So, but again, it was a lot of fun, a lot of good folks. Again, a lot of players, that's for sure. Not a lot of players, a lot of fans with their individual players' names on there because there was no players on site whatsoever. But again, it was great. A lot of friendly faces. Everyone, of course, wearing their mask, doing what they were supposed to have done, minus picture time. The only time we weren't allowed to take off our mask was with the Vince Lombardi trophy. So other than that, like I said, I don't think Tampa could have done a better job what Mayor Jane Castor has done as far as keeping everyone safe, everyone being cordial with each other, being respectful, tons of food anywhere you wanted to go, especially down to Armature Works. So I expect the same amount of crowd tomorrow night, obviously, for those who couldn't make it into the game, because the last time I checked, I don't think a lot of us have $21,000 to $49,000 for a Super Bowl ticket. So anyone who's able to go to the game, I'm happy for you. Of course, there's tons of cardboard cutouts, so there will be people there, and I'm pretty sure the weekend will put on a great halftime show. I do see that Ryan has a comment here, and Ryan says it comes down to Tampa Bay number one run D against the Kansas City top 5 pass defense, and you are correct, Ryan. It's going to be, like I said, I would expect nothing but an explosive game, nothing but that, and I'm hoping that that's what it'll end up coming down to, if possible. So a lot of things can go right. A lot of things go wrong. I do believe from Kansas City, because they did have 2 injuries on both their offensive corners. So they're going to be without their 2 starters come tomorrow. I did not get to see the injury report, of course, because they didn't put out the latest one as of yet. That won't be available till tomorrow. So there's going to be, key injuries. There's going to be things that unfortunately are going to plague both teams. But either way, I believe it's going to be a good, explosive game altogether. And the one picture, I guess, if I can show here with Kansas City down there at the NFL Experience, you can see, of course, the Lamar Hunt Trophy with the Kansas City helmet. The same thing when it comes down to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So again, the Super Bowl Experience downtown in Tampa, definitely a lot of fun. And I did not know this until today. I just happened to be browsing around that apparently in Chihuahua, Mexico, tons of Kansas City Chiefs fans. I mean, a ton of them. And that's just one picture that I found. Apparently, the Chiefs are very much well loved in Mexico. So, thanks to the Mexican fans out there that, and anyone that's out there Hispanic. And if you're whatever fan that you are, whether you're Tampa fan, KC fan, if you guys want to make a comment, by all means, please put it out there. But KC fans, I will say in Tampa, it was fun because last night as we were watching a fireworks show, and I wish I can put the video up there. Unfortunately, again, because of screen share, I'm not able to share it unless I do it a complete different way. The one thing that I will say, that one guy from Kansas City was walking around by himself with his Arrowhead flag with the KC logo on there and giving, of course, the chop signal as they do, like they do with the Atlanta Braves. And this guy was brave enough to go through nothing but Tampa Bay fans. And of course they booed him or whatever. But again, it was all in jest. People were having fun. But it takes some big cojones for you to be walking around as a KC fan by yourself amongst all these Tampa Bay fans. But there were a lot of Kansas City fans, a lot of them that came in from out of town. So I'm telling you, it was really, really nice and really enjoyable. There's another video that I want to end up playing here. And it talks about Kansas City defense. And just a little taste as far as what they would like to see come their Super Bowl run and leading off this year for the Super Bowl itself.
I mean, the Super Bowl means everything to me. I like to think of it as, your entire life's work. It's everything like you see on commercials and, on TV. But at the end of the day, it's still a football game. It's all about team, and it's all about making the plays that count when it matters. It would mean everything to be able to be back-to-back world champions. Obviously, you want to make the most of it. You want to enjoy it. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to say you're a champion.
So again, Kansas City looking to repeat as back-to-back champions. The last ones to do it in the modern era, of course, are your 2003-4 New England Patriots. So it's going to take a lot for Kansas City to be able to put it together and actually be able to pull off the win. So again, it's hard to do in the modern era. It's hard to do in the season that we've had this year. And we've seen a lot of ups and downs for sure, but it will be interesting to see. And I see Rick has a comment here. Rick states that Raymond James looks good and looking forward to fly over B-1, B-2, and B-52 bombers, equal 55. And it was talked about, of course, this week on the radio. Also, speaking about the radio, 98 Rock, the flagship of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of great guests this week, a lot of great guests. And they did talk about, as far as what Rick had just mentioned on the flyover. The flyover itself is supposed to be quite amazing come tomorrow. I wish that I was down there to see it. I may be down there with the fans. I'm not too sure yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be loud because according to what the Air Force is saying, once they all get together, it will sound pretty thunderous. So I'm more than excited to see the flyover, even if it's on TV. I'm dying to see exactly what's going to end up happening here. So a couple other videos, of course, that I want to show you here. One will be from Kansas City, and one talks about, of course, Travis Kelce. He mentions as far as what it's going to take to repeat, how they got there, how people didn't believe. So that itself is going to be interesting. But I want to show one here, again, from KC with Travis Kelce. And he does talk about what the season is. And they've been using the phrase, run it back.
The City Chiefs select Patrick Mahomes to second.
What a play! Chiefs are champions! One thing on my friend! Bring it back! One play at a time, dog!
Tampa Bay. I had a hunch we'd see you again. All season long, they said we were playing with fire, that we couldn't just flip the switch, that we didn't get enough style points. This is about wins and losses. And even in a year of uncertainty, we're one win away from rewriting the history books. Hey, with the Chiefs Kingdom behind you, anything is possible! And even when you get knocked down, you know your brother's gonna be there to pick you right back up.
You make a play this game. We get here. Beat us. Beat us.
Now, all that stands between us and running it back is some guy named Tom Brady and his new squad. And we've got to beat them in their house again. Well, we've got some guys too, and we like our chances. It all comes down to this, KC. Let's make a legacy of our own.
So again, it's talking about running it back, and it should be a matchup for the ages. Definitely for sure. The Tampa Bay, of course, they report themselves. Right now, everyone seems healthy, but I'm going to allow, or again, show Casey's reporting. Of course, she reports directly for the Buccaneers, and this is what she had to say with any injuries and exactly what ended up happening this week as well, along with the fans and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Welcome into Bucks Beat, presented by Advent Health, and I'm out here at the Super Bowl experience. It is incredible, and it was perfect timing with National Girls and Women in Sports Day. The Bucks and the NFL hosted the Play Football High School Day at the Super Bowl experience. 4 of the top girls flag football teams in Hillsborough County were invited to meet with NFL legends before participating in a round-robin style tournament. Wednesday's exhibition served as a build-up for the Buccaneers High School Flag Football Preseason Classic, the largest sanctioned girls high school flag football tournament in the country. The event will take place later this month as teams throughout the state prepare for the start of flag football season. Also on Wednesday, in conjunction with National Girls and Women in Sports Day, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Foundation announced that applications for the 2nd annual Girls in Football Scholarship are officially open. The scholarship, made possible through a $250,000 commitment from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Foundation, is for female high school football players nationwide who plan to enroll full-time at an accredited 4-year college or university and want to pursue a career in sports. Last year, the Buccaneers became the first NFL team to establish a scholarship of this kind. Applications are open until April 13th. For more information, visit buccaneers.com/community. One of the biggest questions leading into the game on Sunday is how this Bucs defense plans to slow down Patrick Mahomes, and Levante David gave his answer during his media availability.
As far as, stopping Mahomes and what he do outside the pocket, it's just gonna be take discipline. Everybody just latching on to a man whenever we're in man-to-man, or if we're in zone coverage, just matching on to a guy and being able to, take away his zones and his reads. And then at the end of the day, man, you just got to get to him.
That's going to do it for us on this edition of Bucks Beat. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you next time.
All right. The last thing I will say, of course, that it's not a hour show as usual. This is just to kind of give you a taste of what it's going to be like tomorrow. Again, just sharing the fan experience itself. One thing, as obviously this year has shown everyone, and leading into, of course, last year, is either being humble, whether it's being kind, whether it's just looking out for one another, however else you want to see it. But there's one last clip that I will show before I end the show tonight, because again, it was just a quick show to get you ready for tomorrow night. The one thing that I will say is we've shown all season long different hype videos for different teams and getting people pumped up and getting them excited and getting them ready for the game. And for me, the one that I saw today, it seemed like a humbling experience, because again, you can show the best video ever to anyone, or at least the one, like a song that gets you pumped up, anything that could happen. You can see it and it would, I don't know, either bring goosebumps or it'll do the polar opposite effect. But I will say this much. This one here kind of makes you think a little bit differently and maybe hits home a little differently than others. But here's the one from Tampa Bay.
Yes, sir. They want my dogs.
Again, I've seen many hype videos this year. I've seen many things, obviously, that has gone on throughout the year, the pandemic, the whole 9 yards. And I think that video within itself kind of wraps all that stuff together, whether it's thanking the healthcare workers, thanking a friend, helping a family member out, whatever the case may be. If you're going through a life experience, whatever, it seems like that video within itself pretty much just wrapped it up. And it's humbling. It really is, as far as of what to expect even from Tampa. Again, the Buccaneers have been pretty quiet this week. They have not talked a whole bunch of trash, even though I felt like a lot of people were going to be talking trash. Kansas City, same exact way too. I think they're both leaving the energy for the field, because they know after tomorrow night, one is going home with the Vince Lombardi trophy, and the other one is staying with their conference championship trophy. So I'm looking forward to a big game tomorrow night. For me, I've been feeling that it's going to be a 31-29 game. I still feel the same exact way for the Buccaneers, even though it'll be a high-scoring event, and it could go higher. Who knows? It could turn out to be 49-42. But I feel it's going to be a high-scoring game. I believe the attack is going to be in the air, and we'll see. So thanks for everyone who tuned in tonight. Sorry, there was a lot more things that I actually wanted to show you from the NFL experience. But again, because of the share screen inaptability that I have with this current software, I may have to revert back to software that I was using that was working just like a charm. So sometimes certain things that you need to change, well, it doesn't change the way it's supposed to. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks, Dills. David, I appreciate the comments. Rick, thank you, David. I appreciate it. And David, by the way, since you're from Boston here, I want to ask a quick question before I let it go. And matter of fact, I think I do have one more thing to show before it's over. And it was the former Tampa Bay players that wanted to show their love towards the Buccaneers. So, Dave, I want to ask you a question before, and I'll show this last clip before I end up going off. And again, thank you for the compliment. How do you feel as far as Tom Brady, since you're out there in Boston, and how the fans felt with him possibly winning number 7? So let me show this last one here with it, if it loads up, of course, because I have to wait patiently. So I will ask you that question. And everyone else, by the way, once again, thanks for tuning in, liking, sharing, being with us all the time. We truly, really appreciate it. So I want to thank everyone for that. So I'm going to show this. I'm going to come back to David, and then we'll wrap up the show here.
Number 99 in your program, number 1 in your heart.
Hey, Bucks, Martin Gramatica here.
Congratulations, Bucks. Derek Brooks here.
This is Monty Kiffin.
This is Brad Johnson.
Joe Jurevicius, former wide receiver on that Super Bowl 37 Buck team.
This is Q here.
Former Super Bowl MVP, Dexter Jackson.
This is your boy, Michael Pittman.
What's up, fellas? Mike Allstad here.
Take a moment, enjoy it, soak it all in, and then do us all a favor, man. Go out and win the damn game.
Having played in this game, you have an opportunity to be a legend. There's only one way to be legendary, and that's by doing legendary. So I expect you guys to go out, capture your moment, and bring us home a damn Super Bowl. Good luck, guys.
I would rather not be here than to lose. Go handle the business. Mark it for history.
What a great season, but we have one more game. Do not wake up on Monday with any regrets, guys. 60 minutes to make history.
No one in this room, players, coaches, support staff, is satisfied with just getting there. It's all about bringing home that hardware, and I know we can do it.
There's 3 sayings we used to have. Play hard, play fast, and play together. Play hard is right here in the heart. Play fast, whatever you run a 40-yard dash in, run a little bit faster today. And play together as a team. Go Bucks.
Preparation prevents a poor performance. I know you'll be prepared, so let's win another one. Live in the moment. This is something you'll always remember.
It's a commitment you guys have made to yourself. It's what you guys have been trying to accomplish all season long. It's about now, this year, this team, this moment, this Super Bowl. It's yours. It's yours for the rest of your life.
Let's go out and kick the Chiefs behind and bring it back home for the city of Tampa.
Childhood dreams, not only for you, but for your families, for your kids. It is life-changing. To do it in a city like Tampa is great.
Finish what you started. Punch them right in the mouth. Do your job and dominate your man. If you do that, you'll be on the ultimate stage in sports.
Play hard, but more importantly, man, have fun. Best times of your life. Enjoy it.
Bring it home. Bring it home, man. All of us old Bucks are proud of you guys, and let's do this. Go Bucks.
Make it happen, boys. We wish you the best. Go Bucks. Vamos, carajo, que hay que ganar.
Have some poise in the noise. No excuses, no explanations. I know we're going to get it done. Go Bucks. Raise those flags.
Of course, Martin Gramatica there getting a little bit fired up there in Spanish. So it's pretty nice to see a lot of those guys to make that video. So again, Tampa's got they know it. You're not guaranteed to get here again, and that's both teams, just not Tampa. KC could possibly be running the AFC side for years to come because Patrick Mahomes is just that great. And as long as Andy Reid wants to continue coaching, because it seems like Andy is like Father Time, he's gone back in time to figure out a way how to win. I will say this much, that Patrick Mahomes and those Kansas City Chiefs, for all you KC fans, even if they don't win come tomorrow, look out for Kansas City to make multiple runs just like New England did for years, unless the Buffalo Bills come back creeping like they did this year. So, David, I want to get back to your comment here. And thank you for answering what I asked you there. He said it's a bit mixed, a lot of rooting for him, for him, though, in Massachusetts. And he was very well liked in Boston for sure. And I believe me, I appreciate it because I know my sister and my family, they're all up there from New England. My sister and I, of course, were born in Philly, but, we had some time out in New England. My family originally, when they came from Puerto Rico, they moved up there. So they have a lot of New England ties, and I know he's very well missed. I'm quite sure Thomas is as well, but he did say he is enjoying the warm weather down here in Tampa. And Kara, who have not seen or spoken to in a while, says, "Go Bucks, hometown girls, so excited. Angel, have so much fun watching the Super Bowl." And thank you, Kara, you as well. And thank you for everything that you do, of course, for the kids. We really, truly do appreciate it. So thank you. And Pastor Crowley, of course, schools for doing a phenomenal job as best as they possibly can. So thanks, Kara, too, for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And again, one thing that one of the players said, if you can, go out there and have fun. Anything in life you need to enjoy and have fun with, because when you're not having fun anymore, it's never a good thing. So thank you to everyone again for tuning in tonight. I do appreciate it. Just wanted to bring you a quick, again, Super Bowl 55 Eve program before the big game is tomorrow. Wherever you guys and girls are watching the game, please remember, if you're going to drink, have a designated driver. If you're going to have a party, unfortunately, I have to say it because I can't be the bad guy into everything, but make sure you're just doing all the proper things that you know you're supposed to be doing, even though we're not going to be high-fiving and hugging, all that good fun stuff, but just make sure, because everyone's tired of hearing this whole super spreading thing, and it's going to be the news come Monday. But again, sorry I couldn't bring the interview about Jabari Thomas. Maybe I can jump on again tomorrow so I can bring a lot of other things that I want to show you with my old software, and I apologize for the beginning of the show once again for not being able to run things the way they should be ran, and or we'll do a Thursday recap, and I'll show you guys the things that I want to show tonight, including leaving you guys tonight with a humongous fireworks show. So I wish I could have done it. Unfortunately, it didn't. That's the way streaming software works. I wish it would have been better. But again, I do appreciate everyone tuning in. Ryan, I saw your comment here before we sign off. The football gods, Kansas City won after what happened in the AFC title game against New England 2 years ago. Yeah, Ryan. So true. So very true. But again, listen, it's going to come down to who has the better 60 minutes, who comes out the strongest in the first half, and who makes the best adjustments in the second half. So I want everyone to enjoy their night. I want everyone to enjoy the game. If you get the chance, if you're in the Tampa area, by all means, before they shut it all down, go check out the NFL experience. Again, if you're waking up early tomorrow at 8 o'clock, Jabari Thomas, Caitlin, Courtney, and Grant will be on 10 Tampa Bay. And I can't thank those guys and girls enough, and especially Jabari, for allowing me to interview him while he was on site out there with 10 Tampa Bay. So I thank him, and I can't thank him enough. If you guys didn't see it, I will have it posted on Broad Street South Sports Talk so you can see the interview, and I do believe I actually have it posted up there, but I wanted to play it again for you guys live tonight as I promised to Jabari, but unfortunately, the software didn't allow me to do it. But again, thanks to everyone tuning in. Of course, we're looking for bigger and better things here in the future with Broad Street South Sports Talk, and the name might change just a bit, but it'll still be the same great show. So again, thank you to everyone, Ryan, Kara, David, Rick, everyone else who tuned in tonight. Of course, my boy Marcus. So Ryan Dills, thank you guys all for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Everyone have a great night. Enjoy the game tomorrow. And who knows, we could be back on tomorrow. So we'll see you guys later on. Again, check us out again Thursday nights during the offseason, 7:30 every Thursday, unless something else changes. So thank you guys so much. Have a great night, and we'll be talking soon.